My name is Brendan Payne. I'm with Tags and Tackle Trips. I'm the owner, and I'm going to be your guide as we go through this early release webinar. And I appreciate you hopping on and getting this information. It's really important that I get this to you. And I want to just go through a couple of ground rules or a couple of housekeeping items just before we get started. One is I'm going to try to keep this to about 30 to 40 minutes. So we got two goals. I want to make sure that you get all the information on what we can do for you, what we're about, how this came to fruition. And also, most importantly, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you're busy. It's a super busy time of the season. So I want to make sure that I'm respectful of your time and get you in and out. Second is if you're watching this live, there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and you can go ahead and click on that. And any questions that you've got, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A session. Put your name on there. And if I don't answer them as I'm going through the information that I've got on my list, then I'll make sure to take a screenshot of that and get you those answers right away. So before I kind of dive into the ins and outs of what we're doing in the site, I want to give you a little bit of background and let you know where this idea came from, because there are obviously there's other platforms, there's other ways that you're getting trips. So why did we begin this journey, and why are we doing this in right now? What's the difference? So Tags and Tackle Trips, the idea was born out of a time we were on a boat. My son and I were fishing. This goes back to right before COVID. It was early 2020. We were out on the boat, probably 2 miles from where this photo was taken at a marina. We were out in the jetties of Merle's Inlet, South Carolina. We were just spending the afternoon, and we were catching some fish and just doing what we enjoy doing. And as we were talking, the conversation turned to my son was a junior in high school. He was 17 years old at the time. And he said, when I graduate, I want to get my captain's license and I want to start running fishing charters. And he'd been a mate on a boat. He'd been a dockhand for a couple of years, and he wanted to take it to the next level. So I got us started talking about that business. And of course, we through the years have taken vacations, and we like to spend times in the Keys in different parts of Florida. And we like to spend time in the mountains in Georgia, North Carolina, and do some fly fishing. And he's an avid hunter. And so we were spending a lot of time talking about some of the trips that we had. And it dawned on me how much of an impact those trips have had on our family and guys' trips that we've taken. And it made, we started talking about some of the challenges of finding a great partner when you're going and going to spend money on doing a guided trip. And we've had really good ones, and they've made memories for years that we're always going to keep in mind. And then we've had some bad ones. So the first thing that we realized is there's a challenge in the consumer being able to find the right fit of the professional fishing guide and charter captain. And as we talked more about what he wanted to do, then we started realizing that there's also a challenge that the professionals have in being able to get their story out to the consumers to know, like, what makes them different? Why are they better? So when we finished that conversation, we had come up with a couple of things that we felt like we could impact, or at least we wanted to try to impact. And it was the challenge of consumers finding the best charter captains, the ones that were a good fit for them, and the guides and the captains being able to get their story out there, knowing that, like, you've got a full-time job and you've got plenty of things to do. How do you actually market yourself? So with those challenges in mind, I met with some friends who, and it's worth mentioning right now, the site was built by a great group of guys that are out of Dahlonega, Georgia. And I got to tell you, these guys they're like us. They love spending time on the woods and the water. They are fishermen and hunters at heart, and doesn't matter the discipline. They just like being out there and being part of that experience. So the guys that get you wired, Dobbin, Bobby, Garrett, Evan, thank you guys. You've got a beautiful product, and we're really looking forward to sharing it with everybody. So we came up with 3 goals when we were building this platform. The first goal was to make it easier to connect the consumer with the best experience provider. That was goal number 1. most of the platforms that I've been a part of that I've seen out there, they are kind of, they're pay for play, for lack of a better terms. I see the people that pay the most money to get at the top of the list. And it's not a different, that's not unique in this industry. There's a lot of industries that are like that. You pay to get at the top. But after a while, if everybody's paying to get at the top, who's really at the top? Who's really the differentiator? Who really is got a different story? Or is it all just, we're really trying to please the platform? And that wasn't our goal. Our goal was to be able to put the consumer in front of people that were going to be the most committed to creating great experiences, not just committed to spending more money. Okay. Second goal was we wanted to make it easier for the professionals to tell their story. So if the consumers are finding people, we wanted them to find people that that were able to tell their story and what was different. Why did they create such good experiences? And that's going to be a good match between the consumer who's looking for a good experience and the provider who is used to that and is still excited about providing that. So we know that marketing can be pretty labor intensive. And for small businesses, marketing to get new clients is, it's expensive. It's either expensive with time or it's expensive with money. So we wanted to find a solution for that. And that was goal number 2. And as we progress and build out the site with more and more providers in areas, then our internal rankings and our visibility of our captains and our guides and our providers is going to be based off of your engagement, how much you contribute in terms of the content that I know a lot of people put fishing reports out and they do little blogs, and we want to be able to provide more exposure to that, and along with your reviews and your videos. So we're never going to be ranking people on our site based off of the money that they pay. It's always going to be based off of their engagement and how committed they are to the experience. The third goal was to actually create better experiences for the captains, the guides, and the consumers. We want both sides to really, really be happy with the outcome of each one of the trips that they do. We know that if they're happy with your trip and whether, the results that you get, whether it's you catch things or not, that's not always indicative of a great trip. They can have a great time and get skunked, or they can have a terrible time and catch a lot of fish. We want you to provide a great experience so that when they come back to your area, they're going to use you. When they're outside of the area and they're going to be looking at a different vacation, then they're going to go through us, because everybody is looking for that win-win-win. We all want to be after the same thing, which is to create that incredible experience that keeps them coming back to us as the platform and to you as the individual provider. So let's talk about a few reasons why we are different in what keeps us standing apart from the competition that's out there. We're going to work with you on helping you stand out against the competition. So what makes us different? First is we're American owned and operated. So what that means for you is we're probably very similar, similar values, similar lifestyle, and we love the woods and the water. And being part of that experience still means something to us. There are a lot of our core memories as a family were spent, on a boat fishing and on a vacation, and the people that were driving that boat, they might not even know that we still remember that, but it's still there. And so that's one of the reasons, because we just enjoy the experience, and we're looking to partner with people who are the same way. Second thing is our business model is centered on serving the professional, you as a guide and the captain, and also the consumer. So we're not pay to play. We're there to create that win-win-win. Of course, we're a business. We need to be profitable. You're a business. You need to be profitable. And the consumer spending their money, their profit comes in the experience that they have. So we all have to have that in mind when we begin. And we don't ever want to leverage our professionals and our guides and the people that we partner with by just, basically saying you've got to pay more in order to show up more. There were 55 million people that went fishing in 2021 in America. And a good portion of those people, that was their brand, they were brand new. So it might have been in somebody's backyard in a pond and they said, I enjoy this. And they're going to then expand what they're doing. They may go on vacation and figure out, you know what, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should talk about one of these offshore trips. Maybe we should get an inshore trip. Maybe we should just go over to the beach and have somebody show us how to surf fish. All of those things are people that are in the audience that we want to attract and be able to match them up with people who we know are going to be able to provide a great time for them. The third differentiator, or what makes us a different choice, is we believe in marketing, not advertising. So Google searches and just advertising to the masses is very simple, but marketing is where we identify the right group of people that's a good match for the service provider, and then we match them up. Because we know the right group matched with the right provider, that's where the value comes in. That's where a better experience comes in, and that's where they write better reviews. They tip better at the end of your trip. They're willing to pay a higher price, and their word of mouth means more, because then they can actually send you new business when you're hooked up with the right match in the beginning. So from a marketing perspective, it goes beyond just advertising. Advertising is to the masses and you get what you get. Marketing is trying to match up the right people for the right fit. Then it's up to you guys. You provide a great experience and then they come back. Fourth differentiator is we know that we're not going to be a great fit for everyone. And we're okay with not working with every single person that's out there. Frankly, there's some people that we've had trips with that we wouldn't go on again. We wouldn't book again, and we wouldn't want representing us and our brand, just like you wouldn't want somebody that doesn't share your values representing your brand. If somebody's just kind of like over it and it's just they go out every day because it's just a means to an end and they're kind of burnt out, probably not a good fit. We're looking for the people that are still excited about what they do. And that makes the experience better for all of us, and including, and most importantly, the consumer. We plan on attracting a higher quality of consumer based on the value that we deliver them. So a lot of this is behind the scenes things that we're going to be doing from a marketing perspective, but I'll give you just a snippet of when somebody has already taken a trip with you, we're going to be focused on being able to bring them back to you once that trip is finished, because we know people they tend to gravitate towards the same areas. We spend a lot of time, as I mentioned, in South Florida, in the Keys, and we tend to gravitate towards the same people. And so over time, we want to help you create those the same relationships by being able to stay in contact and market to those people after the trip, versus just being transactional. And they did a trip, you got paid, and then it's on to the next one. We know that those people will pay off long term by having more lifetime clients that will refer business to you. And the sixth differentiator is the name, as you're aware, is Tags and Tackle. The tackle has to do with the fishing side of the business, but we're super excited that the second part of our rollout, which will likely be towards the fourth quarter of 2022, is going to be the same concept, but on the hunting side. So you can imagine there's a lot of the same people in the audience of consumers that are spending time and money hunting, as there are people that are spending time and money fishing. So during fishing season, they're taking trips and paying people to show them what to do, where to go. And in the off season, when it's hunting, they're spending money, time traveling and going places where they can now book someone to take them on a hunting trip or a guided charter. So in those scenarios, we're marketing to both of those audiences, not only from the consumer standpoint. So we know that they spend time in both categories, but we know there's a lot of people that are fishing guides and they're hunting guides. Right here in South Carolina, we've got a lot of people that in the winter, they're working on hunting things and doing some fishing. And in the summer, in the season, then they're out with their charters. And so we know that the audience there is huge, and we want to be able to put you as that service provider regardless of what side of the industry you're on, we want to be able to put you in front of them as that trusted professional that they know that they're going to be able to get a great experience with. So I want to talk about a couple of things before I go into the actual platform and show you, some of the ins and outs of it. I want to talk about a couple of things that will make you a great fit for our platform. I mentioned maybe not everybody's going to be a great fit, but here's a few things that will definitely make sure that you are a good fit for us. Number one is if you've got some open trips to fill. If you're expanding, maybe you're adding a boat, you're adding a captain, you're a startup and you're doing word of mouth right now and figuring out how do I get the best bang for my buck, before going out and trying to market at scale and be visible, get signed up on our platform. We're going to be able to do that in ways that is probably going to be a lot more cost effective for you without the risk and the time that you have to spend going and trying to drum up your own business. We know that you're going to be able to get business from people that refer clients to you. You may be getting things from your local marina or your fly shop or different places. We know you're going to get trips from other places. It's okay, but get signed up on our platform because we're going to be able to fill some of those holes in your schedule. And our goal is to show you the difference in what we bring you in terms of the clients and the service level. The second thing that makes sure that it will ensure that you're a good fit for our platform is if you still enjoy being a huge part of your client's experience. Like when you take people out, you still every once in a while just kind of have to think, man, I'm lucky that I get to do this. I'm excited that I get to do this. Maybe it's a father-son trip. Maybe it's the bachelor party. Maybe it's just the kids that go out and they're catching a bunch of shorts and you don't catch anything to bring in, but you're like, you know what? Those kids, the smiles on their faces it was huge. If that still means something to you, you're a great fit. That's the experience that we're talking about. If you see value in someone helping you tell your story, then you're going to be a great fit. That's what we do. I've spent the last 16 years in real estate sales. I've built a large team through the Carolinas. We sell hundreds of properties every year, and I understand marketing at scale. I understand exposure in how to create and tell your story, and I understand the cost of lead acquisition. So you're getting this from someone who understands it's really important for you to still be profitable in the lead sources that you take on. If I can add people into your boat and you still make a profit, we can create a great experience together. You're going to be a great fit. And then the last one is if you know that effective marketing of your business is valuable, but you don't have the time or the knowledge, or you don't have the time to go get the knowledge on how to create that, get signed up for our platform and let us do that part for you. You don't need a part-time job when you finish a trip. You don't need to go finish everything and then go back and say, all right, how do I get these videos uploaded? How do I get them optimized? How do I get them linked to things that are going to drive some traffic? You don't need to try to compete at that level. Let us take that portion on and begin bringing you people that you can go out and create a great experience for them. They're going to come back. And I promise the value is going to be there and the profit's still going to be there for you when the trip is done.